Hey guys, hey, what's up? It's your boy here, Ken. Back out with another video. This video that I alluded to making from my Bray Wyatt, talking about that him being released. This is that video. Basically, the purpose of this video, I just want to really talk about, with a lot of releases that WWE's been having to recently, the weird booking decisions already just out of the gate with Karrion Kross on the main roster, Keith Lee, and now today the release of Bray Wyatt being released due to budget cuts. Um, it really screams to me that there is something wrong, fundamentally wrong, with WWE's creative process, treatment, and handling in terms of releases when it comes to talent. Something's not right with that company. Something's not right. We know, we can say for years WWE has been creatively bankrupt. They don't know how to book people right or whatever. But something within this past year, it's kicked up a notch. It's kicked up to another level, and I think it's really detriment to WWE. They may make money. They have deep pockets. They may be cutting wrestlers left and right, which increases their revenue. But in the process, internally, the company is rotting. It is dying internally, and not just from a creative aspect of the writing and the storytelling, but internally something is wrong with WWE and how they handle their talent. Now, WWE always trims the fat. They trim the fat. They cut talent. Some people don't get a fair shake. Some people are jobbers and they just kind of like to stay in catering but get paid guaranteed contracts, and WWE kind of cuts them loose. That's fine. That happens. But for a lot of the stars that they've released in the past just 6 months has been very questionable. Guys like Rusev. Guys like, Rusev hasn't been the last 6 months, but still, Rusev. Aleister Black recently, Andrade, now Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, who ended up coming back to NXT, but that was only due to Triple H. That was Triple H's call. And now Bray Wyatt. It seems like WWE are trying to prove a point to their entire roster that everyone is expendable. Nobody is safe. There might be a couple, maybe a John Cena, a Randy Orton, a Edge, a Roman Reigns. But outside of those, few, they don't give a fuck who you are. You're expendable. And I think WWE are using a lot of these guys, the Bray Wyatts, the Braun Strowmans, the Aleister Blacks in particular, the faces that get noticeable TV time, or that are well known amongst fans at least compared to a lot of other wrestlers. I just can't buy this budget cut thing. I do think there's a long term plan. There's been rumors or speculations that Nick Khan, this new guy that Vince had hired about 2 years ago, is trimming the fat in WWE and streamlining their revenues, because WWE might want to, in the next couple of years, be sold, or Vince is looking to probably sell the WWE brand to whomever in the next couple of years. That might be, but what they're not realizing by doing this is that they're killing their own product, because they're killing and getting rid of viable players who could bring something to their company and that fans like. And by fans looking at this and seeing this publicly being displayed, they lose interest. They lose interest in the character. which means they lose interest in the product. Not that that helps anyway, because what they're writing creatively sucks, and they turn away from WWE. Okay, casual audience might not care too much, but I'm speaking to the hardcore wrestling fans here. The wrestling fans that sit through WWE's bullshit through thick and thin, true and tried. Like anybody who is a big WWE mark. I mean, you can say, "Oh, I've been watching WWE all my life." It's time to cut the bullshit. It's time to cut the bullshit. You got to be honest and be real about it. WWE, what they've been doing is it's not right. It's not right. And even like some of their weird booking decisions on Karrion Kross. You know, I made a rant about that a week ago. How do you take a guy who in NXT has all these bells and whistles, nicely packaged, you present him in a nice way in NXT, but then when he comes up, you don't have his girlfriend with him, who's part of his whole package deal. You don't have the whole smoke and mirrors. You don't have the same kind of like tight camera angles and camera shots. Things that made him unique and that would made him stand out from the crowd. You strip him and take him away from that. He gets with the main roster. It makes no sense. Now, part of that is due to Vince McMahon does not know anybody off his NXT from the NXT roster. It has been well documented. It's been well known that Vince does not watch NXT. I think that's kind of detrimental. I mean, you're a man that's running a fortified, six-figure, not even six-figure, but like multi-million, billion-dollar company, and you don't even know your potential future stars. Like, this is where your talent's coming from, NXT. This is your developmental. Now, I get Vince is a very busy man. He runs everything on Raw. He runs everything on SmackDown. He does other stuff for the company outside of the WWE, making all these business deals. So he might not watch an NXT. But to at least say like, hey, let me take some time out and I'll watch a takeover. And a takeover, NXT takeover, they have takeovers like once every other month. To watch a 2-hour takeover, on a weekend, just to see potential future stars, who's hot right now on this brand. He doesn't take any time out of his day to do that. I think the only NXT takeover Vince McMahon ever watched was the NXT takeover that was main evented between Sasha Banks and Bayley, where Bayley won the women's title off of Sasha. That was the first NXT takeover pay-per-view Vince was in live attendance for and saw himself. Other than that, the man is completely out of touch with his developmental project. And as a wrestling fan, it makes it hard because it's like, well, why should you get behind a Karrion Kross? Why should you get behind an Adam Cole? Why should you get behind a Kyle O'Reilly? Why should you get behind, Bronson Reed or anyone else? Because you know that once they get to the main roster, they are fucked. They are royally fucked. Creatively. Vince doesn't know what to do with them. Vince is like, oh, well, who's this guy? Oh, that's another warm body. Okay, well, let's put him on TV. Don't know anything about him, but hey, let's go off to the races. Let's see what they got. And because Vince doesn't understand what got that person over, what makes him popular with the crowd, it doesn't translate to Vince. And Vince goes, oh, well, he sucks. Well, put him on the back burner. Next. And it's just a repeated cycle. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Same thing with Keith Lee. Keith Lee was great. I think personally he got called up too soon to the roster, but whatever. Hey, Keith Lee was presented in a really good light. From Survivor Series, his stint in the Royal Rumble, going toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar, Keith Lee was like, it was for sure. It was like, hey, this is a guy's going to be protected. This is a guy Vince is going to like. Keith Lee gets called up to the main roster full time, and it's just been downhill for Keith Lee. And Keith Lee's been sending these cryptic messages and tweets and everything else. I don't know what's going on. We'll soon to find out, sooner or later, what's going on with that. But my point is that WWE makes it hard for you to like their product. They make it hard for you to believe in the stars that they push, in the stars that you like. Maybe not even the ones that they want you to cheer or boo, but the ones that you would potentially like. It's hard to invest in these characters, in these talents, because as a fan, we know you're going to get bored with them within 3 to 6 months, or you're going to put them on chopping blocks. So what's the point? Why invest in the star? Which in case, why invest in your product? Which in case you're writing bad storylines anyway. So you kind of like lost me there. But the only thing that's going to keep me intrigued is some of the wrestlers that I am a fan of. But to see how you're mishandling them, your misusage of them, your poor ass piss booking of them, and now you're firing them for no apparent reason, all because of budget cuts, that puts a bad sour taste in the audience's mouth. That puts a bad taste in the fans' mouth. And guess what? Whether people like it or not, you may hate AEW, because I know there's some people that despise AEW like a Jim Cornette. Some stuff like that, what I just mentioned this entire video, that turns a fan off, and that's what's going to turn a wrestling fan over to AEW. Hands down. AEW, New Japan, MLW, Major League Wrestling, whatever company it is, or just drive them away from the product completely. There's something wrong with WWE creatively. It's so out of touch. And then don't only just start with Vince McMahon. The whole regime needs to change. Vince needs to be out of there. Kevin Dunn needs to be out of there. Michael Hayes needs to be out of there. This Nick Khan guy needs to be out of there. WWE needs a shakeup, and it doesn't do anything with the talent or having some new writers. They need a new figurehead to lead that company into the next decade. Plus, not just financially, because financially, WWE are financially secure, but they need someone, a figurehead above Vince McMahon, to keep this company alive creatively, because WWE has been creatively bankrupt for so long, and talent-wise, they sure as hell don't know what to do. And it's getting bad now. It's getting so bad to the point where, like, you hear little things here and there behind the scenes, whatever, but now it's just blatantly just out there online, like, and everybody sees it. And it's very well known. And you have other wrestlers within WWE kind of not really being very, straightforward, but displaying their grievances and some of their disappointments, and how WWE just randomly just cuts everybody. And like I said, I really think they're using guys like Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman as examples that everyone's expendable. You're not the star. The WWE brand is. You're a featured talent. The WWE brand is what is the machine. It's going to be here with you. It's going to be here without you. We're going to continue to go forward. We're going to continue to make money because WWE is the star, not you. You're expendable. Get the fuck out. That's literally how it is. And that's how a lot of big corporations are. A lot of greedy corporations, a lot of corporate companies that a lot of people don't want to work for. When they're in it, the land ain't so sweet as I thought it would be, so they want to get out. And from what I've been hearing, there's quite a few wrestlers that want to get out. You guys let me know what you think about this topic. Do you agree, disagree with my points? Didn't want to make this 14 minutes long, but I really have to talk about this because I just thought the thing of Bray Wyatt was ridiculous. And I thought that it really just exposed a microscope on a much deeper level problem issue within WWE internally in their creative department and in management department and how they're doing things. But anyway, you guys let me know what you're thinking about this below. Do yourself a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Peace.